And yeah, so at the beginning, I'd like to say about my background. I come from Catholic family, because Poland almost is Catholic. So I mean, my parents were kind of like religious. They would take us to church, me and my sister, and yeah, we kind of would know Bible, but there is a difference between Catholicism and Christianity because they believe that by good deeds you will go to heaven. So, and also repentance is not probably that much that, they don't really preach much about that. So just, do good deeds and you will go to heaven. And yeah, so I mean, we kept going to the church, but could never feel like, God's presence or peace or anything like that. So, even we did rosaries as, parents told, but basically we were like always bored to go church or rosaries. We never could feel like God, in our life doing anything for us. And yeah, our family was like a bit trouble with like constant fights and, divided family, this camp, that camp, you have to take sides and stuff. So yeah, a lot of like resentment and I think rejection. We are like blaming each other really for, each other's mistakes, and yeah, a lot of hurt. And my parents were also in like this occultistic stuff like New Age, so horoscopes and tarots, reading cards, I don't know, just name everything, really everything. So they probably did that since we were like 5 years old, me and my like twin sister. So when we were like schoolgirls, probably 10, 12, we started reading their books and magazines, and like, oh, mom is reading, it's on the contrary of what, church is saying, but okay, we still should, we should be doing, since parents are doing, then it's okay. And that was probably, when we were 12, we started reading it like quite much and getting interested in that, asking for like, telling something, for fortune tellers and stuff. We could never actually like bond with our like peers at school. We were like outcasts, me and my sister. So even if we had some friend, after 2 weeks she would leave us because someone would tell her something bad about us. So we could never ever have friends in the class. We were like, just by ourselves. So yeah, and yeah, so we were like feeling kind of like, like rejected really. And like my mother would explain it like, oh, you are antisocial, or you are like weird, maybe that's why people don't like you, you are too shy and stuff. Yeah, so we kind of believed that. And we changed school 3 times. In each school we were bullied. In the third school we were like physically bullied by males in the class, so like verbal bullying and also like physical bullying. And and we were like, having some suicidal thoughts, but we never, did any harm to ourselves anyway. But our life got very dark that time. That time we stopped, I think, going to the church like 14, 15 years because we had like a lot of pain because of what was happening at school, and like family was also having a lot of trouble. So we are thinking like, oh, there is no God, God is not helping us, like, why is it happening to us and stuff. So we stopped going to the church. Anyway, I'm no regret because it was like idolatry. Catholicism is idolatry, so no regrets. But but we like kind of turned our backs on the God. We believe like New Age things that you can do whatever you want to, God still loves you. This type of thing. So and also incarnation and stuff. You are like kind of not good in this incarnation. Next one you will improve, and this kind of like evil things. So we were a lot like in darkness, me and my sister, like, just getting any New Age philosophy and just believing it and not really having any God. Still it didn't change our life. Still we were like, fighting with each other, with all the family and blaming each other. We got very much distant from our mother and me and my sister. I think it also is like related to coming to this country and like getting our husbands. When I came to this country, I was thinking like, oh, I will be loved for myself, it will be happier than the family, than what I had in my family. But it was not happening exactly as I was thinking, because I did not feel loved by my that time boyfriend. So yeah, present husband, and yeah, he was always into something else. So the money was going like that, and we were like having a lot of fights. Like yeah, we weren't like in love with each other, and I blamed him for everything, and he started doing business 2012, and that time he like committed his life to the business. Basically, he didn't like stay at home, just came to sleep and then wake up in the morning, go on job. So basically he didn't see my face, he wouldn't talk, we wouldn't go for a walk or anything. Like we would not like kind of enjoy life or even go shopping like together. And that was once he took me to Amsterdam, I was so happy. Yeah, so yeah, and that time I was feeling a lot of like abandonment, I think, from him, and rejection. Like, okay, you started this relationship and you don't want to keep it, you find business more important, money and stuff. And there were a lot of fights. He did not like change. 2015 I left him, I went to Birmingham, and that time I felt like something has like died in me, like love for him. I kind of like treated him as a friend, but yeah, there was no love. I wouldn't like to go back to him. And 2017 I got baby by him, but it was actually yeah, like it wasn't like happy circumstances how the baby was born. And then yeah, I was also in the middle of earning money. I wanted to buy a house for myself, stop moving from place to place, and that was quite disgraceful. And I never felt like I have place for myself and I belong somewhere. I just like I needed things, just being tossed somewhere from place to place. So so when I found out I'm pregnant, I wasn't happy with it at all. I started crying. I didn't bless my child because I was already, in my mind, I was already like single lady and, single mother. And this is not something I wanted for myself. And I wanted to be like, career woman. I wanted to have house. Yeah, the child got born like 2018. And then we lived together in one house to look after her. And my husband was still attached to work, all the time at work, and I was at home by myself. When she was 1 year old, I found out that much from my savings that I collected working in Birmingham, I saved that for the house, was gone from my account. He had access to my account. He put his money in the business. So I was just shocked. I just could not believe. And also, if I had some gold given from him, like traditional thing from his family, and also some gold from my mother, it was found in the business and could never get it back. So I was feeling so humiliated, and yeah, and basically like he never cares. He would sacrifice anything for his business, for his success. So I did feel like like trash, like nothing. He doesn't care for me. He even doesn't have respect for me or my belongings. And yeah, she was 1 year old, and there were a lot of fights in our relationship. We couldn't stay together. I really had a lot of hatred to him. I would always swear. Yes, I was like very violent. I could not control my anger, and yeah, anytime I would call him, I would be like blaming him, oh, you did this, you did. He already felt that like million times, but I kept repeating him the same thing, like blaming him for everything, every single thing from the past. So I mean, his health also got like bad. He was like getting into not really severe, some like minor accidents, but sometimes he would be in hospital because his heart rate was funny. So it was always when we had these weird fights, always something like physically happened to him, and that was quite bad. And I stopped like caring what is happening to him really. And when she was 2 years old, like in March, after her second birthday, I actually reconciled my account, and I found out that a lot of money is gone, a lot of more than what I was anticipating before. And that time I just got I got furious really. And that was, I think, the biggest fight we ever had. And I hated him. I really hated him, like from like my boyfriend or husband or father of my child. He was like my first and like only enemy. Like many people hurt me in my life, but I really hated him the most. If someone would say, tell me name of your enemy, I would say Nadim. So his name. He just like topped everything that everyone did for me. So even once I told to my mother that if he dies, I don't care. I wouldn't really even try. I wouldn't care what happens to him. So, I was that dark. My mother went silent. She was like, she would never think she could hear something like that from me. And that time I realized that, like I become like a monster, and I felt inside in my heart that I'm dark. I can't feel like compassion for the people. I can't, forgive, and I have a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, and if I like shout, swear, and I can never stop fighting at him, then there is something wrong with me. I can't totally control myself. So, and my child was like witnessing that. So I also like started hating myself. I was thinking that this is not like how normal person should behave. But I had no control over that. It was I really felt that I don't have like any light in my heart, like total darkness. I'm like becoming some really like monster from human. I'm turning into something else. Even the way I was shouting, my voice and everything was so like aggressive and like, I don't know, like it was just horrible. Then I moved out from that property. We didn't live anymore. I went to Birmingham, and I was like thinking, okay, now I have to divorce. I can't even communicate with him every time there is some argument. So I started looking into options to divorce. And I also wanted to fight for the money that he owes me, because he was also saying like, oh, how do you prove, I took this money and so on. So I was saying, no, I have to get this money back. I don't care what happens to him. Even if like I have to send him to the hell, I will get this money. So, and I also cursed his family, him and his family a lot. I was like very mean. And so I started looking for that, but then somehow I came across this Jesus Encounter Misses on YouTube. And I started watching it, and I was thinking, okay, then maybe some chance for me. Maybe I can get this divorce and money case solved peacefully if I get delivered. So that was my initial plan. Maybe there will be less arguments and less, So I kind of like pushed him first. I said, Nadine, you need to get delivered because it's hard to talk to you. And I want my money back, so I don't want him to oppose that. So I said he needs to be delivered and my life will get fine. But then that is also like coronavirus around, so I can't go anywhere. Like I can't go to Nigeria because I like to watch Prophet TB Joshua videos from the SCOM in Nigeria, but I can't go there. I can't go to Sydney, to Australia, to that pastor from Jesus Encounter Ministries. I really would like to come across him one day. But so I said, okay, I need to get delivered somehow. Maybe someone is doing like online deliverances, because it never happened to me. As people are watching and they are getting delivered, it never happens to me. So I googled, that was in Victor Ministries. Pastor from Florida. So he said he can do it. He can do it over Skype. But then again, I wanted to push my husband first, but he said, okay, if he's from Muslim background, then he should, you should do first. I would suggest you do that first. So I said, okay, call him, ask him to call me later, but we can still pray for him and for your salvation. So when he started praying that he's asking for our salvation, then that time I felt like, like something is like set in my heart. Yes, that's what I need. I was like asking for deliverance, but he said salvation, and for me and for Nadine, and I felt like smiling in my heart, and it was quite simple. He didn't say any like deliverance. He didn't start doing any rebuking. Just simple prayer. And that time I also felt like I can pray for Nadine. In the past I would hate him. I would not even be able to ask God for anything. I couldn't even forgive him. I just thought that I will die and I won't be able to forgive him. Maybe anyone else, but not him. So it was, I knew I had to forgive to get deliverance, but it was, I thought that it's impossible. I can never have it. Like people forgive even their father's killers and they get delivered, and I can't do that. So I said, no, I'm really like hard case. I need some miracle from God, because I've been so much hurt, but I'm still not letting it go. So I was like praying that I need some miracle. God has to do that for me, since it's out of my hand to kind of forgive him. That's what I was thinking. And okay, after this prayer I went to sleep. The next day I woke up and I was feeling so dizzy, like never ever in my life. And I felt like my eyes or my brain is spinning, like inside very high speed. So I never had it like that in my life, never ever. So it's something I can't explain. Then I started vomiting, I think 8 to 10 times. That was saliva. I did not have any food, did not have any drink. And yeah, and that time I was thinking, if this is saliva, I'm spitting saliva, maybe it's my deliverance. But I did not start like proper deliverance as I saw online. So yeah, but I was thinking maybe that's that. I called my husband and I started talking to him, and I saw that my attitude is different. I treat him as a friend. It's not like I'm not blaming him for anything, and I'm not having this attitude like we would just talk something rash and put the phone down. That's it. We don't want to talk anymore. But this time I was like talking. Okay, then I have to vomit, put the phone down. After that, I would call again, and I think at times I called him every time I vomited, and I was asking, how are you feeling? He said that he's feeling some pain in his shoulders, like something is pressing him, also pain in the head, and that was like quite weird. He said, I don't know where it came from, something that he could not explain. So. And I think after 2 or 3 days, I was feeling that I don't get angry anymore, and I'm still like feeling like happy, like joyful, something that I could never have before. And I was thinking, what is this? Is it like deliverance? Is that how it feels? So yeah, and so I did not get angry. I did not like need to swear at that time. I was like really, I think for 6 days I was so peaceful and I was so happy. Never had that before, and even if you like try to annoy me with something, I just would let it go. And definitely I was so happy for for my husband, for whatever happened to him. I was like blessing him, I was praying for him. And yeah, he could not recognize me, that something really has happened to me, that that has changed me. So that must be this deliverance. And if the Holy Spirit like casted out these demons, then he should come to my heart. So if God is in my heart, then this peace comes from God. So even if I, did rosaries or went to this Catholic church or anything, I spent like 36 years in that church, doing idolatry actually, not having any relationship with God. So, that's why I could never feel any peace in my heart anyway. So yeah, so that time I also felt like, I was cheated, 36 years taken away from my life by, doing idolatry, and I was looking for God everywhere, and, God was just, like that. That's how it feels probably to have God in in your heart when you are so peaceful and like happy, and don't feel like hurt people, blame people, and I would never even think to swear at him anymore or curse him. So definitely I see this change in my life, and I still expect God to do more for me. I also got baptized tonight, and then also my husband got delivered. He just like came to drop me here and maybe say maybe just what is happening, but he got delivered. Karen prayed over him and he got delivered. He started coughing and something is gone from him. So I'm looking forward to see changes in him. Yes, I also got a word from the God that I've been washed from my sins, and it's like I'm still unfinished product. He has to like iron all the creases, and
So praise God.
Yeah, so praise God.